It's the top of the hour, so let's put in progress. Good morning. We have a quorum, so we'll call to order the City of St. Louis Port Authority for its regularly scheduled meeting held via Zoom on January 15, 2026. Happy New Year, and may we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Liddy,
Here.
Commissioner Mason,
Present.
Commissioner Kay,
Here.
Chair McBride. Oh, Commissioner, Cone just came. Oh, Jackson is also.
Yes, so we have Director Jackson and Alderman Colton as well.
Okay, Commissioner Cone.
Present.
Okay, and Commissioner Jackson.
Present.
All right. At this time, I'd like to welcome Director Jackson, the Director of Streets for the City of St. Louis. Thank you for joining our board, and we appreciate the time. And we also understand you have a lot of other pressing issues, which have jumped onto your calendar today. But if you wish to introduce yourself to the board, we'll give you the time. But also we understand that at the bottom of the hour, you have some other obligations. So I'm going to let you make your decision.
Yes, sir. I think I've properly introduced myself as of November. I'm coming to you guys from a brief moment to exhale after having left city of Tracy, California, and Topeka. Have served in a number of mid-sized and large cities, Detroit, Wayne County, DC, Atlanta, and in large part due to just the level of experience and the request of those cities that they had. I was actually invited to come in and do various things for them. I'm hopeful to be able to do the same thing here with the city of St. Louis. It has a very vibrant workforce. The team here really wants to do well, and I'm hopeful to be able to contribute in a significant manner. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Director.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
All right. At this time, we'll get back to the agenda and take up approval of the minutes for our meeting held on October 9, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Alderman Cone.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. It's been properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Jackson,
Aye.
Commissioner Liddy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay,
Aye.
Commissioner Cone,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye. And the minutes are approved. All right, we'll take up Resolution 26 PT1 relating to the election of officers of the Port Authority. James, you're going to walk us through that?
Yes, good morning, commissioners, and happy new year. Pursuant to the Port Authority's bylaws, every year the commission elects a slate of officers to serve for the following calendar year. This is a fairly routine resolution we bring at the first meeting of each year. The proposed slate is before you, and I'm happy to answer any questions about any of the positions.
Thank you, James. We've all had an opportunity to review the proposed slate. Is there any discussion on the proposed slate? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 26 PT1.
Motion to approve. Commissioner Jackson.
Second.
All right, properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote on this motion?
Commissioner Jackson,
Aye.
Commissioner Liddy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay,
Aye.
Commissioner Cone,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye. The motion is approved. All right. We'll take up the 26 PT2, approving the Manufacturers Railway Company request for lease amendment and exercise of 5-year option renewal. Susan, you're going to walk us through that?
Yes, good morning. This is a swath of land that's traversed by some railroads that service Anheuser-Busch. And you can see from the drawing, it's just it's on the city's south side. To the upper right of the picture is the brewery, Anheuser-Busch Brewery. And Roland does all these pictures for us. He does a really good job of not only taking the drone shot, but then putting the yellow outline so you can see what we're talking about. So for this one, it's 291,000 square feet. It's an ongoing lease. They want their, I think it's their second 5-year term. It's their first 5-year. They have 5-year terms. So this is their second 5-year. They're a good tenant. And their rent's going to go up 3%, which is the standard escalator that we have for ongoing rents. So the request before you is to give them the next 5 years at the current, at the 3% escalated rate, and it escalates every year 3%.
And that's part of the initial lease, that escalation, correct?
Yes.
Any questions for Susan on this resolution? All right, looks pretty straightforward. Seeing no questions at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 26 PT2.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Jackson,
Aye.
Commissioner Liddy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay,
Aye.
Commissioner Cone.
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Right. The motion passes and the resolution is approved. All right, we'll take up Resolution 26 PT3 relating to the recommendation for BPS to approve a 1-year mooring permit to SI Warehousing Co. Inc. Susan?
There's a fleeting lease, a fleet's a barge parking lot. In the upper right and in the center, there are 2 fleets. One's kind of a long-term, the other's a short-term, but they're all part of that green line that's in the middle of the river that has the number 35 in parentheses. So that green line indicates the 2,400 feet of mooring that this lease has. And it was a 25-year lease up until a couple of years ago. And the rate was very low, and now it's at market rate. And it's we are proposing a 1-year permit because the South Refuse project is ongoing, and we'd like to eventually, when we finish that project, include this 2,400 feet of mooring in the RFP for the next tenant. And so the South Refuse site is in the upper right corner of the picture. And we've talked to SI Warehousing, and they wanted a longer term than a year because of their business needs, which is, we understand. So we'd like to negotiate a very short-term lease with them, 5 years, while this 1-year permit is in effect. So before you is the 1-year permit to continue to moor there. Those are their fleets for the rest of this year. And at the going rate of $80 a linear foot. 2 years ago, they were paying us $3.50 a foot.
Right. So we've done a good job getting not just this parcel, but the parcels up and down the river up to market rate. And that's been a task which I'll tell Director Jackson that Port Director Susan Taylor has undertaken over the last 5 to 10 years and just done a great job not just increasing the revenues, but right setting the priorities down here on the river. And so I think that's been a good testament to one of those things that the Port Authority Commission has undertaken and advanced. But yeah, this looks like a good use of our time, especially with a tenant that is paying us the market rate. Are there any questions for Susan on this resolution? I see none. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 26 PT3.
So moved, Alderman Cone.
And we haven't had a meeting for a while, so I just remind the commissioners, we also have the option of a request for previous role. That's something we
I was
wish
going to use that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Alderman. It's been moved with request for previous role. Is there a second?
I second it.
Properly moved and seconded with request for previous role. Is there any objection to that request? Seeing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. All right, we'll take up resolution 26 PT4, and that relates to a 5-year extension of a lease with Terminal Railroad Association. Let's see, Susan, you can walk us through that, please.
Yes, what you're looking at on the right is a picture of the track. It's on the left side of the shot. The track runs under that. It's kind of a shed, but the belly of the rail cars open up, the grain drops into an underground bin, and then it's funneled up and over what you see, the conveyor belt in the top of the picture, into the waiting barge. So it's a grain facility, and it's in service to Municipal River Terminal, but the lease is with Terminal Railroad Association. Terminal Railroad's a switching line that moves rail cars in and out of their final destinations. And they get the cars, Terminal does, from the Class 1 railroads, Union Pacific, the BN, et cetera. So we have a number of leases with Terminal and some letters of agreement. The letters of agreement, some of them are 100 years old. And what this particular one is a lease. We're going through all their letters of agreement to try to consolidate into leases. Letters of agreement are kind of written on the back of a 100-year-old napkin that says, every month you pay and you're still good for the month. So this one is a lease, and we'd like to this is the second 5-year extension for this. And the area that they're leasing is in the yellow highlighted drawing on the left. It's immediately adjacent to the Municipal River Terminal. And all of this is part of Ingram's rail expansion. So Terminal is on board with the rail expansion, and they'd like to continue to renew this particular site for the next 5 years. So that's what's before you today, is the renewal of their lease there.
Very good. Any questions for Susan on this resolution?
Mr. Chair, I have a question. It's Alderman Cone.
You recognize Alderman Cone. Please proceed.
Thanks. Susan, somewhat tangential to the resolution, we've had conversations previously, and since it's being shown here on the map, that block of Monroe, at First and Monroe is basically non-existent now. There's no street there. Yeah, the street has completely eroded. It went down to the cobblestone, and then people started stealing the cobblestones. So, we've had conversations in the past around trying to resolve that in partnership with either the streets department or through funding through the Port Authority. There's a minority-owned business that's been there for the better part of, a couple decades. And they, in my conversations with them, said that the city's never done anything with it. There were, at one point in time, water division cones that were out there. They were still there when I went there a couple months ago. There's been no work done over there at all. And the 2 years I've been paying attention to it. What's going on with that?
I know we've had conversations with various businesses in that area because it's an ongoing problem, that heavy vehicles beat up the streets and street department comes in and makes repairs. So we can, work with the street department to try to get this high on the list of repairs. Commissioner Jackson and I can talk after the meeting to see what we can do to get this fixed. Commissioner Jackson, I don't know if you're still there, but does that?
I am.
Okay. So maybe you and I can talk after the meeting to see what we can do to improve the street there.
Sure, I'll put my office and cell number in the chat so that we can communicate, because I'm gonna actually lift over into the Unified Command meeting here in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jackson, why doesn't Susan just shoot you an email so that your cell phone doesn't become part of the public record of this meeting?
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that advice.
Thank you. And I recognize Rob Orr.
Yeah, I just want to comment briefly that after Alderman Cone brought this up, I believe it was last summer, maybe, I did reach out to Camp Flake He did think that he could address it at some point. I know the street department's been busy. I don't know if it's still on his list and where it may rank, but he definitely is aware of it and looked at it and thought that they might be able to help out. So, Mr. Jackson, I'll get with Susan and have that conversation following.
I mean, at a bare minimum, if we can get some infill gravel so that it's not, the cobblestones aren't completely loose and coming apart over there, that would be, I think, at least a step in the right direction until we can find out something more permanent.
That's good.
Yep, that's doable.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Very good. If there's nothing else on this resolution, then I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 26 PT4.
So moved. Request for previous roll.
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded with request for previous roll. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. All right, we'll take up Resolution 26 PT5 relating to a 5-year lease with a material sales company. Susan?
Material Sales has been there for 20 years. This is their last 5-year lease extension, and they're kind of a floating machine shop, if you will. So they have a bunch of barges, as you can see there. They're tied together, and they have equipment. They have towboats that come in and out so they can service barges and tugboats in the river. So that location is between the two bridges south of the arch. Poplar Street Bridge in the middle picture is at the top, and the MacArthur Bridge in the middle picture is to the south or to the bottom. And so as I said, this is their last 5-year extensions. They've had some change in a few years ago in management, and so they kind of struggled, but they've kind of gotten themselves back on track. So they're current on their rent, and we expect them to continue to pay normally. So this would be another extension or their final extension of their existing lease.
Very good. Any questions for Susan on this resolution? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 26 PT5.
So moved using previous roll call.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded with request for previous roll. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. All right, we'll take up Resolution 26 PT6, recommending Street Department award 2026 mooring permits to Gateway Arch Riverboats and Gateway Arch Riverfront Heliport. Susan?
The Bi-State Development, about 80% of their portfolio is the mass transit system, but about 20% of what they do are these small businesses. They run the Arch Tram. There's a little airport across the river in Illinois, and they operate those two cruise boats, one of which is moored in the picture there. So they have Tom Sawyer and Becky Thatcher, which are local, smaller cruise boats. And you get on the boat and you go up or down the river for an hour and they come back. So they stay here. And they're, as you can see, they're right there on the riverfront. They're on the cobblestone, right next to the levee. The larger cruise boats, the Visitors, Viking and whatnot, come in and park or moor just to the south. And we'd like to get a lease with them as well. They had a really bad year in 2020 and 21 because of COVID. Nobody got on their boats. And they have some real issues now with their passenger volume is kind of lower than it's ever been, or it's been in the past, I should say. And they have issues with there's a lot of people showing up on the levee at 10:30 at night and causing problems, and they have to pay security to cover their staff and their guests. They'll have dinner cruises, Christmas weddings, things like that. And so we're proposing a 1-year permit. There's a project to improve Lenore K. Sullivan. So that's been ongoing. The copper wires have been stolen, so the lights don't work. So we're inclined to give them a 1-year permit not at pretty much the same rate at the minimum required by ordinance. And we'll try to put together a longer term lease the goal is to deal with some of the issues to return some of the passengers. I mean, they're doing okay, but so we just want a 1-year permit with them to continue to operate not only the 2 cruise boats, but the heliport, which is the barge in the upper or the right side of the picture. And you get on the helicopter and it flies you around city, which was very interesting during the flood of '93 when the floodwaters were halfway up the steps of the arch. So
Absolutely.
the request for you is a 1-year permit for them.
All right. Any questions for Susan from the commissioners? All right. At this time, I entertain a motion to approve resolution 26 PT6.
So move using previous roll call.
Second, Alderman Cone.
Properly moved and seconded. The request for previous roll. I'm going to need to recuse myself. My firm does work for Bi-State from time to time. I don't even know if they've addressed this issue at all, but it'd be appropriate for me to recuse myself. So if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Jackson, is he frozen?
I heard an aye.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Liddy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay,
Aye.
Commissioner Cone,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
I'll recuse myself, but the motion passes and the resolution is approved. Now we'll take up resolution 26 PT6 relating to United Fruit and Produce Company's 5-year option renewal. Susan?
Is this PT7?
Yes,
It is PT7. Thank you for the PT7 relating to United Fruit and Produce Company 5-year option renewal. Thank you.
Sure. The center of the picture is the number 5 Clinton warehouse. And so that parcel, this western border is along First Street. And so there's a little triangle of ground that you can see 4 trucks that are parked there. And the track is the elevated, it's an abandoned railroad track. And so those 4 trucks are parked there. They're owned by United Fruit. It's just a gravel lot. United Fruit is in the building, the building's in the lower left-hand corner of the picture. And they've been parked there for a while. Usually there are more trucks. This is an older picture. If you go to Google Earth right now, there's like 7 or 8 of them. And so we'd like to continue to get their rent for parking their trucks there. And so the request before you is for the 5-year option, their first 5-year extension.
All right. Any questions from the commissioners for Susan on this resolution?
Did you say it was a 5-year lease?
Yeah, the first term was 5 years, and so now they have 4 5-year options coming up. So this is their first 5-year extension.
Okay.
So it'll be year 6 of their lease.
Thank you.
Very good. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution 26 PT7.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote?
Sorry, who's second?
Kevin Liddy, I think.
Commissioner Leonard? Commissioner Liddy?
Commissioner Jackson,
Aye.
Commissioner Liddy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay,
I didn't hear. Did you vote, Commissioner Kay?
Aye. I didn't hear that.
Commissioner Cone,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye. The motion passes and the resolution is approved. And we'll take up our last resolution, 26 PT8, relating to request for BPS to approve a 1-year right-of-way to the Ingram Infrastructure Group. Susan.
This is the Ingram project that I was telling you about. So Ingram is the operator at the Municipal River Terminal. In the bottom of this picture that's kind of white blob is is a pile of salt, I believe. And they're extending up and to the left are three red lines. The center red line is a piece of track. And the green, so what you're seeing, the jog and the green line is a cemented shut floodwall gate. They are going to open that floodwall gate, put in a new gate, and extend the track that's already in the municipal river terminal north to connect to existing, I think it's the BN, the Burlington Northern Santa Fe track. And this is part of their rail expansion. It's been ongoing for 4 or 5 years. The Port Authority's gotten a number of state grants to launch that rail upgrade. SCF is now, I'm sorry, Ingram is now putting in approximately $22 million of their own money, not only at the municipal river terminal, but at the site immediately south, Tyler Street grain facility that you saw a couple of resolutions ago. And the idea is to get 2 unit trains through that facility. The municipal river terminal and Tyler Street, between them, can get a unit train going north with fertilizer, for example, a unit train going south with grain. And it's huge for the St. Louis region. There's only 3 spots where the eastern and western railroads meet to cross the Mississippi. St. Louis is one of them, and the other 2 are New Orleans and Memphis. And this will drive a lot of business to not only this dock, but everything in the St. Louis Harbor. And Ingram needs, we're working on a longer term lease with Ingram to reflect their investment. We put in about $20 million to renovate the dock, $16 million federal grant and a $4 million Port Authority loan. Their lease is paying off the rent. So there's another project coming up in July. So by the end of this year, this will be a $63 million port facility. And we're very pleased with Ingram's efforts here. They're doing a really good job. They're a terrific tenant. And before you is the request to give them what they need is a permit to lay the track on those along those red lines. And later this year, we'll be back to you with a lease that will be a longer term lease to reflect all of their investments and their upgrades.
Outstanding. It's exciting to hear about Ingram taking this to the cutting edge of modernity with not just 1 unit train, but 2. And logistically, what is that? Are they going to run parallel to each other and then load from opposites from left and right? Or like, how's that going to logistically work?
I don't know that they'll have the 2, they have enough tracks width. They have enough tracks width-wise. So in other words, they have parallel tracks in the yard. So they can get the 2 trains. 2 trains could pass each other. I don't know that how often that will happen. I'll find out. But if you've got fertilizer going up, that's early in the winter, and grain coming down is in the fall. So I don't know that they necessarily. But I'll find out. It's an interesting possibility. They could do that though.
And yeah, and Director Jackson, the unit train that is we've come to learn over the past number of years is if you don't have enough of familiarity with it, is basically a mile long train, Susan, that can be loaded or reloaded all at once, every car at once. Is that basically an overview of what that means?
Yeah, I think Director Jackson has left, but a unit train's value is that you don't have to break up the train. Every time you pull the train apart and move cars around, it takes time, it takes money, it costs money. And the trains, the railroads want you to turn the trains in 18 hours or less. So you don't have time to move 2 or 3 cars here and 2 or 3 cars there. So you get the train in. And our dock being 2,000 feet long, they can probably, and they're putting in some conveyor systems. So they should be able to have multiple cranes going at once and transload 2 or 3 rail cars at a time, 2 or 3 barges at a time. So there's a lot of efficiencies that they're building into this site.
Wow, that's interesting. Because it opens up a thought. I don't know if you all are aware, but the city's looking for a new home for its tow operation. And though it hasn't been discussed openly with our team, one of the things that I'm very aware of is the modern capabilities of rail, particularly with technology, to move high volume, heavy, items. And this is something that's going to be discussed in our organization here in the near future. So I would put this out there on the floor for all here in the meeting today. We are looking for a new home. We need about 80 acres. We thought we had a site there near where we're currently located. That one did not come through. So we are actively seeking a new home for our tow operation. About 80 acres.
Okay. We'll talk, Rob, are you still on? We'll talk to others here at SLDC. And I'll talk to the railroads. Terminal Railroad, as I said earlier, is the local switching line. So they'd probably be, they might be interested in moving stuff. So we'll talk to them as well. Okay.
Very good. Thank you. And yes, I'm going to have to step out of the meeting now, folks. Thank you, everyone. Good to meet everybody. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Outstanding. Us as well. Thank you, Director. All right. And although we still keep our quorum, it is less important because now we are at the portion of the agenda. We're at open agenda for our lobbyist reports. We have both our state and federal lobbyists. I did not mean to in any way infer that they're not important, just that a quorum to hear what their reports is not important. And I'm sure that Jackie and Mary Beth appreciate that. I will let them decide among themselves. What's that?
We didn't vote on the last item. We didn't approve the last.
We did it?
No.
Is that correct, James?
Yes.
I let myself get sidetracked. Retract everything I said. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate this. It takes a village, it takes a village, and so I will call for a vote, a roll call vote, since we do have one less director for Resolution 26 PT8. And Janet, if you could give us a roll call vote, please. Did we take a motion in second?
No,
Hang on. I'm gonna go to Susan. All right, let me reset this whole thing. I got so excited about unit trains, and there are two guys. There are 2 unit trains. This is setting me off my tilt a little bit. So
you must have liked trains when you were little.
This is taking me back, and I got to tell Director Jackson about it. So show off a little bit. All right, thank you, Tanya. All right, this time I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 26 PT8.
So moved.
Second, Alderman Cone.
Probably moved and seconded. Maybe a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Liddy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay,
Aye.
Commissioner Cone,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye. The motion passes and the resolution is approved. Outstanding. All right, now we will rewind forward and touch base with our lobbyists, and I will let them decide among themselves who wishes to go first.
Mary Beth, I can go ahead if that's easy enough.
Sure.
Well, perfect. Chairman McBride, we will not forget your comments about how unimportant our updates are, but no, I'm sure you all have seen in the news, the Missouri legislature just kicked off session last week. So things are starting to roll. Now the governor just gave his State of the State address on Tuesday, where he also releases his budget recommendations for the fiscal year 27 budget, which everyone has kind of been on the edge of their seats because of the forecasted revenues we have here in Missouri. We had a bunch of, obviously, the COVID money and federal funds that have we've been very generous and lucky to have coming into the state over the past couple years. So the governor was right out the gate very, very clear that the state needs to right size the budget back to pre-pandemic numbers. He included about $600 million of cuts in the general revenue budget that he proposed. He was very firm with the legislature in that if they do not maintain that level or even include some further restrictions, that he will veto legislation. He will have withholds once the legislature passes their budget at the end of the day. So I think that kind of sets the tone for there weren't a whole lot of increases out there. A significant amount of projects that folks have been able to get for their communities over the past several years were pulled back and removed from the budget. Specific to the ports, obviously, you all know we receive our port funding through our collective Waterways and Ports Trust Fund that gets divvied out through all the ports in the state. They slashed that in half from what we had last year. We had a little over $14 million in there that passed is in the fiscal year 26 budget. That right now sits at $7 million. I have been talking to some of the other port authorities and the Port Authority Association, and we are going to meet with the chairs of both the House Budget and Senate Appropriations Committee to see if there is any willingness to make sure that at least all of the ports are getting something this year. I don't know. I do not have super high hopes for that, but we will keep you posted on how that goes. I don't think, Susan, correct me where I'm wrong, the way that the money gets divvied out from that fund, the ports amongst themselves kind of rank the projects, and I don't think that's happened yet. So we don't really know where we fall on the list yet with that 7 million. But once we know that will kind of change my strategy on how I go about advocating for those funds up here as well. Some of the other just high level things to keep in mind that impact all of this that the governor mentioned in his State of the State. I'm sure you're all aware, one of his big priorities for this year is eliminating the income tax in Missouri. He started to explain his plan a little bit. We don't really know the nitty gritty about what it actually is going to look like, but some of the high level things, he would like to eliminate the income tax within the next 5 years, and the revenues to supplement that loss to state revenue would come from sales tax on services. So it would be on your lawyer fee, lawyers, accountants, barbers, and the big one that several years ago, the realtors kind of got ahead of this and exempt themselves from ever having a sales tax on their services occur. This plan would reverse that and also put service charges on them. So I think we will see the realtors come out in full force, but the realtors also are spread a little thin. So if keep your eye on the news, I'm sure you guys will start seeing a whole lot about that up here. But there's most of the time when I say we want to eliminate income tax, a lot of people laugh. It is at 63% of our general revenue here in Missouri, but there is a lot of support for it up here in Missouri. So I will keep you guys posted on how that plays out. I mainly just want to tell you that because that does impact the budget and how that's crafted throughout the session this year. Legislatively, we made our fix to make sure that we can get state funds last year. The big stuff that we're watching this year on legislative bills, Port KC introduced the same legislation they did last year that would kind of expand their authority and what they can do over there. It's not specific to them, though. It does impact all ports. And James and Susan have been awesome helping me dig through that and make sure it doesn't negatively impact how we operate over here. I know KC wanted to be able to have their port authority wanted to have the ability to do developments outside of their port in certain situations. And the way that was worded caused some issues for us over here. And they've been very willing to make any changes that the port and SLDC needed on our front. So I will keep an eye on that. And then the only other thing, we do have a number of developers in St. Louis that have been working with folks in Jeff City on tax credits for office conversion legislation, for other state incentives to help development in the city. A lot of them we haven't seen the language for yet, but I will keep an eye on those too to make sure that doesn't impact how you all are operating and all the good stuff that we're doing in St. Louis. Besides that, I'll keep you posted. We still have the Democrats in the Senate are not happy about how things ended last session and have kind of vowed that once bills are on the calendar and the Senate is going to start moving, that they are going to shut things down. And I don't know what they're trying to leverage from it, or what carrot's going to be dangled there to help get things moving or not. But it is 100% going to be another interesting, eventful session that I'll keep you guys posted on.
Thank you.
Very good. Any questions for Ms. Barget from the commissioners? Hearing none. Thank you, Jackie.
Great. Well, I guess I'm up. Good to see you all.
You are up.
I'll start off with appropriations in the federal government. So there have been 3 bills that have passed out of the House and Senate. And so they're fully funded for the fiscal 26 year. And that's the legislative bill, agriculture, and military construction and VA. So like I said, they are funded. All the other bills in federal government, they're on a continuing resolution that runs through the end of January. So yesterday out of the Senate, out of the House, they just passed the Financial Services and General Government Bill along with the state and foreign ops. So now there are 5 bills. They call this jamming the Senate. So the Senate now has 5 appropriation bills that have passed the House. They need to vote on them. I think important bills, they're all important bills, but maybe some a little bit more to the Port of St. Louis is the transportation bill, which usually carries some earmarks. That bill will probably go in a 3rd package, which I'm told still maybe a little fluid, but that the bill language for this 3rd package will come out on Sunday, and that should have the transportation bill, defense, and labor, health, and human services. Like I said, transportation bill is a good, bill because it has also the earmarks, and Homeland, which that's where the Coast Guard is, funded from. That bill hit a bit of a hiccup because of everything that's happening with ICE. So right now they're trying to work things out, and it's uncertain if that bill will be packaged in with the last bill that's going to hit the House. If it's not decided upon or passed out of the House and Senate, then most likely that there'll be a continuing resolution on the Homeland bill, and that means they'll be held more or less to the same funding that they have had in fiscal year 2025. So moving on to efforts with the Coast Guard, we continue to work on our charming offensive with the Coast Guard, especially with Admiral Watson, who now oversees the Port of St. Louis, and he's situated in New Orleans. Previously, Susan and Jones Walker worked really closely with Admiral Barada in his role. He recently transferred out over the summer. Susan, Chris, and I all attended the change in command. That was in New Orleans, and that's where we met Admiral Watson. And in early December, Susan had a meeting in New Orleans with Admiral Watson, which was a great opportunity for them to sit down, talk about the Port of St. Louis, and provide an overview of some of the progress that's been made and key initiatives going forward. We continue to work with the Coast Guard to get recruiting and training down by the riverfront, and the Admiral expressed interest of coming out to the port in February. So plans are in the works. And regarding federal grants, we continue to look for federal grant opportunities for the port as they present themselves.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Any questions for our federal lobbyist?
Will you let us know when the Admiral does come to St. Louis?
Yes.
Sorry, Mary Beth. He, when we talked to him, he said he had already, before we even got there, he said, oh yeah, the plans have been made to come here, but they don't have their dates yet. So he's gonna send us his dates, so we don't know when he's coming. The Coast Guard's recruiting office is open in Laclede's Landing, and the training center is in a nearby building in Laclede's Landing. It's supposed to finish up this month, the training office, and also Coast Guard staff and potential recruits are using Laclede's Landing workout centers, gyms. So which was something the Coast Guard was really interested in having their recruits and their staff have access to. So hopefully the Admiral will have a lot to see, and yes, we will let you know when he does come. We don't know yet, when he is coming.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And I believe Tanya had a question.
Yeah, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Nassif? Am I saying that right? Mary Beth? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. You're new to me, so I just wanted to introduce myself to you, Tanya Mason, Commissioner, Port Authority, and you could just tell me just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, my name is Mary Beth Nassif, and I've been with Jones Walker now for close to, I think it's going on like 8 months. Prior to joining Jones Walker, I worked on Capitol Hill on the Appropriations Committee. So that's the committee that works with congressmen and the Senate side to actually get bills passed. And prior to that, I worked in the judiciary for the federal courts, and then I also worked in the executive branch. So my claim inside the Beltway is that I've worked in all 3 branches of the government. So
It's nice meeting you.
nice meeting you.
And now
I have
you've
one
moved
more-
over to the dark side, Mary Beth.
Yeah.
One more request, and just take this under consideration, everyone. Since we meet all the time on Zoom, we don't have the pleasure of meeting in person, just so we can make that human connection. So I'd like to make a request that at least for those who can make it, once, if not once a year, maybe in the summer, we can have a meeting downtown. And those who would like to go and grab a bite to eat afterwards, that would be nice. But I just think it might be nice for us to make a human connection with all the other commissioners on the Port Authority and the staff, so we can openly appreciate you. And Susan, you're doing a wonderful job. And maybe when we get our new director of the Port Authority, we can meet or something. But I just like to throw that out there.
I think that's very appropriate. We'll take that and keep progressing. All right. Anything else on open agenda?
I'm going to be forwarding an article that may have been missed in the holidays. It was from December 22nd. It's an update from the St. Louis Business Journal on the Jefferson Arms project and the delays, in addition to the mechanics liens, et cetera. So I can't produce it as fact, but I'm just passing it along. It was written by the Business Journal, and I've got it ready to send here to all of you and keep.
Thank you.
That's it.
Outstanding. I think that's very appropriate.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? Well, thank you all. We appreciate it. And it's been a good way to kick off the year. At this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Alderman Cone.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. We've concluded all the items on our agenda, and we have adjourned. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.